Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's kick off. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time out of your day to come and join us once again for a webinar on the VanillaIP product set. I can tell by the number of people arriving in the meeting that you've heard that I'm not the key speaker on this particular event. I'm joined by Ed Thrussell, who most of you will know. And today we're taking a look at the HPBX SIM product, which is launching imminently, but we're looking at it from a provisioning and a Uboss portal changes point of view. So the predominant part of today will be Ed talking through this. There is another webinar coming up, and I'll give you the date of that at the end, where we're going to revisit more of the sales angle and the customer benefit angle. And you're welcome to join us again then if you didn't attend the first one of those sessions last week. And we'll happily look to go through all of the benefits. For this proposition, we're partnering with a company called Tango Networks. We're delighted to have them sitting in the background of this call today and supporting us on every step. These guys have been in the marketplace for many years. They're a real a best-in-class provider for this fixed mobile convergence solution. And we really do stress here that we're talking about the mobilization of an extension endpoint. And their reason for being there, what they're trying to deliver to the marketplace is a method for partners, our partners, to make money out of mobile or out of mobility. And they're able to deliver to us a well-tested and tried turnkey solution that integrates into our UC platform. They are very well decorated in this space. They continue to develop and have patents out on certain services. And we're delighted to be partnering with them to bring to market this real nice extra chunk of innovation and capability that you can take to your customers. As we live in this more mobilized and more flexible working world, this is an infrastructure-free way of delivering great quality voice. But again, join us for the other webinars. I'm going to pass across to Ed Thrussell right now. And what he's going to focus on is how the product is managed within our environments and how the Uboss portal is changing. And I think, Ed, if you're kicking off, you're going to be talking about showing a few things in the lab portal, so don't be afraid. We're using a lab portal to show you. The portal changes will be made after this webinar.
Thank you very much, Ian. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So, as Ian's mentioned there, I'm going to go through some of the ordering process for these SIMs. I'm going to go through some page changes and just a little note on how you can do certain call control on the actual HPBX SIM itself, covered towards the end there. So we'll jump straight in with the ordering process. Now, a key thing to remember with the HPBX SIM is it acts exactly like any other hosted IP extension device you have. So think of it as another HTEC or a Yealink or a Polycom. It's just another SIP device. So don't think of it as a SIM as such. And with that in mind, the actual ordering process is exactly the same as you would do for a normal SIP device as well. So jump straight into it. We're at a business site here. I'm going to go to the assignments tab. Going to go to devices and device orders, and again, exactly like you would do, I'm going to go in here, click add. I'm going to add a PO number. Let's just grab one we've already got there. Pop a phone number on there for reference, and then we'll go to our little shopping list section, like again, as you've seen at any other point doing ordering. I'm going to choose the VIP HPBX mobile SIM. Obviously, you guys can rename that yourselves. So that's what we've got in the case of this demo. I'm going to order 2 for this demo, and then I'm just going to hit save. And then if we go back here, we'll just hit save there as well. One thing to bear in mind with the SIMs, for the sake of the demo here, I'm just taking it that I've ordered 2. They're going to come to the head office, and they're for people in my head office. If you are ordering them for a mobile fleet that are already working at home, bear in mind that for the ordering, if you need to send them to different addresses on this initial part, make sure you do a separate order per SIM so they go off to the correct places. But what will happen at that point is that we'll get the order come through. we will go off, and the first thing we'll do is put a mobile number in your phone number pool, which we will just take out of the next available number from our pool and assign it to you guys. You can't choose your mobile number at this point. You don't even necessarily have to use it, but I'll cover that off shortly. So we'll put those phone numbers in your pool, and then the person that's going to be sending out your SIM is going to go into the latest order, which they'll have the full details of. They'll come in here. Apologies. Then we go to this end part here where it says configure SIM. And you'll see the two SIMs selected here. Now this is the first thing that we will do. So I'm going to just order one for the sake of this demo. But I'm going to choose the SIM number. So we'll take the SIM number off the back of the SIM before we send it to you. Make sure we got the right one. We'll then select a phone number, like I said, that's in your number pool. This number pool that we're seeing here is based on what's at this site level. So I'm just going to grab just any old random mobile number I've got here that we've assigned. And then what we will then do is we will set the base service, the base bundle only for this SIM. And we won't assign it to a user at this point, and we will leave the transit bar on. And the idea with that is that we are putting the basic SIM bundle on. Oh, it wants me to do those as well, sorry. It will put the basic bundle on, and then it will still be barred so that you, if it does get lost in transit, if someone tries to use it, then they unfortunately won't actually be, well, not unfortunately, they won't be able to use it. So if someone does intercept that order, then they can't actually use it. So that's the idea behind that. So what we can then do, you guys, I guess you'll have to sort out your process, but what I suggest is you have an agreement with your customers that when the SIM gets sent out, when it's arrived on site, they give you guys a call. You can come back in here into your delivered orders, and what you can do at this point is you can actually change your bundle name to the bundle type to the correct one. So you've got your 2 gig, 4 gig, all covered off on the sales webinar, and then you can select which user it's going to go to as well. So in this case, I'm going to just change the bundle type to a 2 gig bundle, assign it to the first user in the list here, hit save. That is now assigned as a device to this user. If the user has a primary device already assigned, it will go as a shared call appearance if that service is available. If it is the only device, then it will go to the primary device for that user. Okay, so that there is actually the ordering process in itself. So it's actually pretty straightforward. It's the same as ordering a normal device. It's the same principle. You can actually assign it down at a user level if you want to, but just to sort of cover these points off, the things to remember are that the ordering process is the same at the site level. We will assign the SIM number and the phone number for you at the point of dispatch, and we'll only assign that base service. And you can then go back into that order, you can change the bundle type, you can assign it to the user, and you can unbar it when it's obviously been confirmed that it's been received. One thing to bear in mind, this SIM ordering process will be available from Tuesday next week, so the 1st of September. So you can start ordering your SIMs then and going through this process. And the other thing I just want to mention at this point is around that mobile number. So that mobile number is in your device pool, and as far as we're concerned on the Tango portal side, we have assigned that SIM number and that phone number together. So when someone maybe they put the SIM in their mobile and they send out an SMS, that is the phone number that's going to be displayed when they send out an SMS. If you want people to be able to ring back on that number that they've received the text from, you will have to assign that mobile number as either your primary number or as an alternate number so that it can also receive calls. But as it is just a further extension of your hosted user, your primary number can still be your current HPBX phone number, but you can also add as an alternate number this mobile number on as well. I hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. So now we're just going to run through some of the Uboss page changes. So there's a few changes here, and these are all going to be available in the portal as of tomorrow. So some of these changes that we're going to run through, well, actually all these changes will be in there from tomorrow, but the ordering again will be from next week. Okay. So the first change that we've got is the a credit lock page. So let me come back to the portal. So at the business users page, there's now an option, a tab here to say users credit lock details. So if I go in here, you will see all of the unassigned SIMs that have been ordered under the business. You will see all the users under the business as well, and it's split out here. So you can see, if I go down to the user page, all these ones at the top are unassigned mobile SIMs. All the ones at the bottom here, I've got Dave Jefferson, for example. If it's black, by the way, it's unlocked. If it's red, it means it's locked. You've got your limits here, as you can see. So the normal IP voice calls, so my normal hosted extension, I've got that set to £15. I've then also got, it's still blocked at the moment because I haven't unbarred it for the user, but I've got my mobile voice, my mobile data, and my mobile text limits here as well. Just bear in mind that these are actually limits that kick in when you're out of bundle. So if you're out of your 2 gig bundle usage for this user, then this is when this limit will kick in, okay guys? But if you want to block any of the data, voice, text, then you can lock it in here as well. As you can see, you can do it for any user, any SIM. There's only 2 users on this site. But so I can block the calls, or I can reset the credit limits, I can do whatever I need to do in here and unlock it. And don't forget, these are daily limits here as well, okay? You can still do that under the user page. I go back here. So if I go to the user in question now, so we'll pick the user that we assign the SIM to. So you'll see that there's a couple of slight changes here as well. The credit limits tab here, so it's no longer under the account details page. So you can see I've got the same things that we saw on the previous page I showed you, but it's specific to this user. So I've got the voice limit, the HPBX voice limit, the data limit, the text limit, and the IP voice calls, the normal ones that you would normally use. So these are all here. Again, you can lock and unlock, but you're doing it at the specific user level. Another change that's been made is that the mobile GSM tab has been removed. So if you were taking mobile GSMs from us previously, they sat under a separate tab. They now come under the combined devices tab, which is the next one that's been slightly changed. So you can see here, here's the device that I assigned earlier. I can change this if I want to. So if I don't want to have the SIM as a primary device, I can go in and change this here, or I could delete it out if I wanted to. I can add devices like I used to be able to, but previously we had add primary, add secondary, and we had add the mobile GSM. As you can see now, it's all within the same page. So I've got add IP device stroke SIM. So what we are saying here, going back to that idea I said earlier, the HPBX SIMs that we're talking about today are still a normal extension on your device. It's not a separate SIM, it's a same device as, like I said, HTEC or EA-Link. So it would be in here under add IP device or SIM. So if I've got any available, I should see some here. I go in there. So yeah, so I've got some SIMs in there that I can add if I want to. If you still are taking the standalone GSM SIMs from us, you would select this option and you would choose the SIM there if it was there, okay? One other thing to just show you here as well, once you've done that initial order part for the SIM, if you do need to change that bundle, if you want to go, increase the bundle type that you're using, if you go into the device itself, under the device page, where you would normally go on a normal device, hit configure device, you can see here I can change the data bundle here, or my base bundle. The idea being that the bundle is associated with the SIM rather than the user, so that's why it's not underneath the service configuration page. Okay, the next one we've got is a credit default page. So at the business level, we've got settings, now you've got credit defaults. So before you did have batch CLI and IP voice calls in there. Again, it's here, same as before, changed slightly to show the the HPBX mobile data parts in here as well. So the data, the voice, and the SMS, they're all within here. These are all the daily limits that spread across every user when they start using these services. So that's where you can go in and see some of those changes. So let's go back here a second. So the call logger page is another good change to show you guys. So this one is an important one. If I just go back here a second to a slightly different place. So I've got some demo data in here from my own user. So just to show you some of the changes that have been made to the call logger. So what we've done is given you the ability to add some extra columns onto the call logger report that can really sort of expand out what you've got. So just while I'm waiting for this to load, I'll come back to the slides and I will show you here. Excuse me, 2 seconds. So we've got a few different things, and I'll show you these in a second when it's pulled the data through. So you can now start to show things like line type, which is it will tell you whether the call was made from a primary, a secondary, or a Broadbox Anywhere device. It will show you your line instance ID, which is essentially your line port of the user. So obviously each device has got a separate line port. In the case of Broadbox Anywhere, it will show you the Broadbox Anywhere number. A device name. So this is taken from the user agents in the SIP headers. It's taken actually from the CDR, but that's where it's taken from. So in the case where we call it an HPBX device, HPBX SIM, sorry, you will see it in there as Tango, because the actual underlying device is Tango. It's a bit like UC1, where you'll see it as business communicator rather than UC1. So that you'll see those in there. The codec that was used during the call you can now show. You can also show the recording mode of the call. So if someone comes to you and says, oh, on that call we didn't have any recording at all, well, you can come back in and say, well, from the CDR we can see that actually your call recording wasn't enabled. But if it was pause and resume, you can see that in there as well, or start and stop on demand. You can also see whether the recording result according to CDR was successful or not. So if you're missing a call recording, you can refer to this. And there's one other one, which is the termination code, which really is more for an internal use for us at VanillaIP. We've taken the codes from the Broadbox CDR, and it's the CDR termination cause code. If I go back to the logger here, if I just go back and grab a little bit of data, we should be able to see what I'm talking about here. Let's view this. So the termination code usually tends to be, we'll see in a second if I just arrange this by device name. You'll see it's a 16, which is basically just a normal cause code, so the call ended normally. There are some other codes. If people do want to know them, we can share that information, but really for now it's going quite deep into it, so we can get that detail for you if you want to. But what we've got here, so device name is the one that people tend to quite like to look at. So here's what I was saying about it being saying Tango as the underlying device. That may change over time. We're working with the guys on that, and we'll come back to that one at another point. If it does need to be changed, we'll let you guys certainly know. But if I scroll down, you can see here BC UC Teams, which is Business Communicator WebEx, which again, something coming up soon. Some of you will get excited about. But you can see device types there. So UC Teams, UC1 that I also make calls on. They tend to be my main devices at the moment that I tend to be using working from home. But you would also see in there, obviously, HTech, Yealink, etc., whatever you're using. So just run through some of these other ones for you. So the line type, so you can see there, my Tango, my HPBX SIM is share call appearance. My line instance ID, get my mouse to work properly. My line port there, as you can see. Hide some of these as we go, so we don't get too many columns on the screen. Device name you've seen, codec there, so G711A. I've got my recording mode here as well, always with pause and resume. What was the recording result? Successful, and again, it will say failed, obviously, if it didn't work. And then finally, the termination code, like I say, more for internal use at the moment, but you'll see different codes along here. And if you do want the detail, let us know, and we can provide that if you need to see it. Okay, so they are the page changes. Again, they're available from tomorrow in the portal. One other thing I want to touch on before I pass back to Ian is just want to cover some of the call control elements for using the mobile SIM. So when you assign the device and you start using it, you can use something called in-call service activation. Now, what that will allow you to do is do some basic call control measures on the SIM itself using just the keypad. So while you're on a call, if you want to put the call on hold, you dial ## from the keypad. You'll hear 2 beeps, and then you'll hear a dial tone. So essentially what you're doing is bringing up the ability, as if you're on a normal phone, putting a call on hold. So do you want to start a new call? Are you just keeping it on hold? But when you hear the 2 beeps, the other end will hear our internal or your business's hold music. If you use hold on the dial pad on the mobile device, they would just hear a beep beep every so often, as if you put someone on hold on your normal mobile. But if you do this ## method, you'll get the business's hold music, okay? To retrieve that call from hold, you have to do # 4 times, and then you'll come back to the call. To do call recording pause, obviously this is a key one. While you're on the call with the other party, you dial ## again, you'll hear a beep and you'll hear a dial tone. You dial *48, which is the dial code to put the call recording on pause. You'll then hear either the beep beep message to say that it's been paused, or you'll hear the message if you've got that configured to say the recording has been paused. And then you press ## and you can return to the call and your recordings will have paused. To resume, exactly the same ##. wait for the tone, dial star 49. In that case, the call you'll hear one beep to say that it's been resumed, or you'll hear a message say it's been resumed. You've then also got the ability to do a warm transfer. So while you're on the call with the second party, you dial hash hash again. You see a theme occurring here. Hash hash again, you'll hear the dial tone. You dial the number for party C. Because it's a hosted SIM, it can either be an internal extension or a full number if you want to dial it that way. When party C answers, you can just hang up the call and then party B and party C are talking. So that's warm transfer, pretty straightforward. Blind transfer, same idea. It's more of a sort of a blind stroke, semi-warm transfer. So same process, you're on the call with party B, you dial hash hash, you'll hear your dial tone, dial the party C. When it starts ringing, you can hang up at that point, and then party B will hear ringing until party C connects, or however that continues. So pretty straightforward. And then the last one is the conference. Again, I'll give you two guesses, but while you're on the call to party B, you press hash hash, and you'll hear the dial tone. You dial the number for party C. When party C answers, at this point, you can press hash hash again, and then you're in a three-way conference. So just some basic call control ideas there, but you know, it is quite powerful that you can do all these sort of things just from the dial pad. It's quite handy to do without having to have an over-the-top app to control it.
Availability for order is next Tuesday, the 1st of September. So for those of you who've been waiting for this to become a fully commercialized product, you can place your orders from the 1st of September. On the 1st of September as well, our marketing team will be launching the campaign in a box, and that you can request from our team and get you all the information so that you can start promoting it to your customers. We have got the Uboss portal changes going live tomorrow, so again, share with your colleagues and just be prepared to communicate to your customers these small changes that accommodate the ordering and the provision of the new services. But also it might be worth holding a little webinar of your own and just talking about the value add that's gone into some of the reporting sides that Ed was taking you through. And finally, for those of you who either enjoyed my presentation so much last time or simply want to refresh and re-gear and get ready for really pushing this product through, we will be going through the sales view of this particular product on the 9th of September. And hopefully in that you can ask any more questions about where and how and what this product could be used for. But it's a very exciting product to sit down and just have a little internal brainstorm with the team and see where they're going to take it. I'll just work through a couple of the other little questions that came up while we were talking. So can we port in existing numbers? Yes, you can. And to cover some of these points to do with existing mobile services that you've got, I think we'll probably just drop an extra little fact sheet out on how to deal with existing mobile stuff. Does the reseller need to lift the transit bar? Yes, I think as Ed was showing on the process, it will be delivered with the transit bar on. Once it's in the hands of the customer, then yes, you will assign the correct package to the device. And then at that point take the transit bar off, and that will make it a live and capable SIM card. Do you have to have mobility assigned? I think I've covered that one. And finally, the management of non-DRD mobiles. I think that's in the same space, but I will just address that. This is where you may be placing and managing mobiles from another provider within the Uboss portal, which was previously visible to you under the GSM setting, now under that tab. So unless, Ed, you want to confirm that now, I'll drop an answer out to that.
Yeah, no, so that should be, if you were doing it under the mobile GSM tab before, it's that tab itself is gone. If I just go back here, so it's now under here. So when you add your device, you've got the two choices. It would be this one here if that's how you were doing it previously under the GSM tab before.
Okay, so again, as always with Uboss, we very much hope you want to take our services. But if there is a different line of provision that you're taking, then we should be able to accommodate that management within the Uboss portal. when a call is delivered to the mobile, do you see the Hunt Group call centre name delivered on the phone as well? I think the answer to that is no. Ed, do you have an answer to that?
It's no. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, no, it will come in as the presented CLI number coming in, rather than the Hunt Group that it has been assigned to you from. So again, if you are having people who are working call centre or that sort of work from home, I guess the desktop Unity products are going to be useful to you, perhaps the Akixi products as well. But the device, the simple delivery to the SIM is limited in its functionality of what it can present to you on the screen. Obviously, you've still got the other call control products that can go on a mobile as well. So I think that's the end of the questions we got at the moment, but do please think of some more. It's a new product, it's a new concept to all of us. I think it's exciting, and as always, we'll refine where we see it being actively used and how it's helping to win deals. So do please share those stories with us and enjoy taking this product to marketplace. I look forward to seeing you on the sales webinar. Thanks, Ed, again for this one today, and including that little subtle advert for the next product, the WebEx for Broadworks product coming through later in September. But enjoy your lunch, enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks once again for taking the time to join us at VanillaIP.